Thanks, John. And next, Mike Doty on Delishus fishes.
Okay, I'm showing a video on what we're doing in Singapore, and this has been funded and also operated by the Seasteading community. And it's an aquaculture farm. We have a pilot project going. And wait for Eric to bring it up here. As it comes up, yeah. What's very interesting about this is it's a form of polyculture, and where we're not just growing fish, but also crustaceans and also some seaweed, macroalgae, as they're also known as. So the beginning of aquaculture, we have like land-based aquaculture, and then it's been moving out into the oceans so that we're growing the fish in cages, but it's still close to shore, and it causes a lot of pollution. So this is the a recirculating polyculture system, where not only are we growing the fish, and these are the fingerlings here, we're growing grouper, and then they go into quarantine, and then after a couple of weeks in quarantine, then they grow into the grow tanks, which are the black tanks. Here you see that black tube there, that's a sterilization unit which cleans up the water and kills off the bacteria. Then, as you can see, the group are very fast growing. They grow, they grow to size within a year, 9 months to a year, where they can be harvested. And then also, these are milkfish that you just saw there, and they are another feeder fish that feeds off of the waste from the grouper. So not only are we feeding the grouper, but the food that would normally be wasted is eaten by the milkfish. Then this is the polyculture you see here, where it's seaweed. We got a mangrove growing there, which could be potentially used for wood on a seastead. And then we also have the milkfish, and they are eating the leftover food and wastes. Here this is a protein skimmer that skims oils and proteins that would collect in the water. That's part of the water purification process. And here's one of the crabs that they're growing, and even one of the crabs spawned. So we are having a life cycle that is working in this project. You saw how fast, that was the grouper. When it first ate, it was a little tiny fish in a pipe, and then that's how big he got. And he came up and ate right out of the guy's hand there. And then you saw him being cleaned. This is the site where the planned site where it'll be setting up the land-based unit. And it'll be like a pair of cement ponds that are used to grow out the fish after they've been in the fingerling stage. Now for open water aquaculture, this is a very good structure, the Aqua Pod. What I like about this is that it's a rigid structure. It can be towed behind a ship as long as you don't try to tow it too fast. You get a lot of drag. As long as it moves slowly, the open mesh doesn't have as much drag, but if you go too fast with it over several knots, then it looks like a solid object. And if you have a current you're trying to fight, then you can just bounce. And see that mesh on the bottom is interesting. A lot of people, what they try to do in aquaculture is to avoid biofouling. And I see it as an opportunity. I want biofouling because that can be the base for a polyculture system. We're growing seaweed in the bottom of these spheres. Instead of letting the wastes in the food drop to the bottom of the ocean, let's capture it and feed it. And this is the ocean drifter. This reminded me a lot of the original single-family spar buoy seastead that was proposed by the Seastead Institute when we were first starting. And Cliff Gowdy of MIT, it turned out he was a few years ahead of us and suggested that as a means of farming the seas. And now if we could bring up the other video, it has the, there's another piece I wanted to show some of the other creatures we're raising with the polyculture. And
more symbiotic stuff.
see, we're also raising prawns and
Sorry,
some
the-
lobsters
the-
as well. They're spiny lobsters
And,
as well as the
spiny
crabs and milkfish.
So what
So
they
you
do
see
is they
some of
just
them
sit
here.
around.
It's interesting. The spiny lobsters, especially, have been adding a lot of mass just while they're growing. They've molted several times where they shed their shells and keep getting bigger. So this pilot project is actually producing results. Quite pleased with it. Yeah. That is it. If anyone has any questions, just let me know, or maybe we have to go to the next presentation. Okay.